Gonna say that you were wrong and ask yourself and who are you at all? Perhaps you'll say that I am out of my mind, but then you will think about it all night. What if I'm gonna say we are the same? You just forgot how we got into this game. What if I'm gonna say that you were a fool? Well, let me ask, what does it mean to you? Doesn't mean to you. Giggity boom. What does it mean to you? Wakey, wakey. Biggest job is what it means to you. The circle is endless, amigo. Tell it to your lying friend whose name is your ego. Be able to create a hell and destroy it as well. I've been talking to myself, learn this spell. How do you know if you are dreaming? So many options have been hidden in my shoe with a goddamn feeling. But this knowledge is forbidden. There's no profit in that freedom of space for the leader. The shadow of delusion only gets bigger. What if there's no me and there's no you? My kingdom's empty and free. What if there's no me? Too many words are going through. But I'm curious, human. So could you tell me what it means to you? Wakey, wakey. Biggest job is what it means to you. Biggest job is what it means to you.
What's going on, everybody? Back after another hiatus here. Once again, we're just macro traders now, so only have to fill you in sometimes, but should be back for the foreseeable future. I have a wonderful surprise for you guys today. Something that everybody has been asking for. Well, I guess not everybody. Not everybody really cares that much. So you guys just listen on your phones. But we got the camera back today. I put in a little bit of extra effort. I got the green screen set up. One, out of necessity, because I made a total mess behind me. So, gotta hide that. This looks better anyways. Green real estate. Upgraded my system a little bit. Still waiting on a case and new CPU cooler tomorrow. All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump into it. Let me switch it over here. Hi, we're back. The cheeks. What's going on, guys? So, market did what I thought it wouldn't do. All right, for all the people that wanted to scream at me that I'm wrong, I was wrong. Now, once again, that's the whole point of how we trade. Clean off my glass. Dirty here. Getting my contacts in the mail tomorrow. Gotta use these today, unfortunately. Blind as a bat without them. But yeah. So I mean, that's the way that we trade. I have an idea of how I think the market's probably going to go. Obviously, based on everything I know, the probability was higher to the downside, but changed. Now, I do have good news. Well, I don't know if it was on stream or not, but we did talk about it. I do remember that if the larger ABC long formed, then yes, I would be going long. Obviously, I did hold my short position. Eventually, I got knocked out of that. That was at 11,880 was the stop loss. So I got kicked out of that. I don't currently have any open short positions. We do happen to go back down below 11,000 conveniently. Well, 12,030-ish. I will be going short again because one, that lines up pretty close with the macro ABC short, and then obviously what we got going on off of the current string of trends. So I was long from about 10,500. I have since then closed that long once we put in the lower low at 100,015. Sorry, I'm still not used to these 6-digit numbers here. So used to 5 digits. It's been years. But yeah, so at the moment I don't have anything on the board. And what a convenient time to not have anything on the board to switch websites. I still used LBank in the meantime when Fimex kind of just went back on all their words. As far as I know, like, people were able to get their withdrawals out. Obviously, some of you guys don't live in the States or place that needs KYC, so you're probably still using it appropriately, but a lot of the things that they said, they just kind of went back on. So from here on out, for the foreseeable future, I'm going to be using Buy DeFi. Don't know if that's exactly how you pronounce it, but to me, this is exactly what I was looking for. So I transferred some money on here just to kind of start testing it out, start using it, see its features. I don't see any conditional orders. That is one thing that is kind of not necessary, but it's a huge quality of life. Maybe I just don't know where it's at on the website yet, but we will see. Maybe it's the stop market. I don't know if they just have it labeled differently. But yeah, this is the website I'm going to be using going forward. Told me no KYC. That's the one that I have. And as always, you know, if you are in the search of a new website, there's a link in the description and sign up. But not, that's okay. I know we all got different websites now. It's been a lot of years since Bybit really kicked the bucket. But yeah. I can see the chat here. Maybe I should just pop out. I really like, yeah, saying I like that song. Uh, to me, like listening to the song, I can't really hear a lot of the lyrics and like what they mean. But I don't know, maybe that's just something with my ADD. When I like clicked on the lyrics button, YouTube, he's going for. Twixie said, I FOMO longed the old all-time high retest. The ABC was too far for me, not following the strategy as usual. Which ABC? I like if you're talking about this smaller one right here, I also don't necessarily super like the structure, but I think I can deal with this. It's not terrible. I wish the B wave probably went up a little bit further. I would feel a lot more comfortable with how this structure would look. But I really don't have an issue with it. Let me make sure, let me see here. $530, 14. So we're almost there. Still get a rejection here. Good thing they allowed predefined stop losses and take profits on those. Not every exchange does it. Build to put in the stop. That's huge. Because that's the main thing about trading for me. I don't want to sit here and watch the chart. Obviously, in the past, that was kind of our thing. But now that I have a strategy and I know exactly what I want to do, well, I just want to set up the trade and walk away. The main thing. Now, I don't know. I'm not like, my endurance level for this is not that high. I'm not used to having bright ass lights all around me, so I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to stand it, especially with the glasses, because right in my eyes. Maybe when I get contacts, might be a little bit better here. Can you elaborate on what they went back on? I still use them. If you're still able to use them, I don't know where you're located, but a lot of people are messaging me saying that they're having issues with the web, forcing them to KYC, despite them telling me that, hey, obviously I don't know how the legality of this, but they were telling me like, hey, if someone signs up underneath you, they're not going to have to deal with that. People were. I don't know if it was an issue on their side or what. And I just never, they just stopped contacting me at some point. And on my side of things, like, I don't really care about this, but it's just a show of bad faith. They told me that I would be getting a 60% fee kickback, and all of a sudden changed it to 40%. I looked over the contract. There was nothing said anything about them pulling that back. So, like I said, to me, I don't really care about the affiliates. It's a good extra, but it's the simple fact that they say one thing, do another. I don't like that. So I stopped using them. Voice is cutting out a bit when you're too far with the mic. Yeah, I have my gate turned up here. Yeah. Just because I was afraid that I was going to pick up certain noises. That should be a little bit better, right? Said I'm in the US, but thanks for keeping this. Yeah, I mean, if you're still using it, no issue. I mean, if you're liking the website, by all means. But just, I don't know, it just... like I said, they stopped contacting me for, like, updates. They changed things that they said they wouldn't change. And then people were having issues. So, I got reached out. And, they set up a nice deal for me, so I took it. Yeah. I already have some money on here. Like I said, I'm just kind of waiting to see when we can go ahead and hop into one of these two trades. We're kind of in like a no man's land right now. There's not really a decision on where we're going to go. Obviously, we have a nice hefty bounce off of this previous resistance. That's a good sign to see for bulls. And obviously, if we can recover this local low here, I think that would be pretty awesome. As it sits in terms of like short positions, there is really only two options. Either one, we come back up and we retest 123,000. We put in the higher high. I can go ahead and take a short off of that. or if we do happen to come back down below 112,000. Now, the issue with the $112,000 mark is with these larger structures, especially one that's kind of thin like this. I do like the structure. It's completely filled out. We have an A, we have a nice A, B, C, B, and then we have a nice C wave. So the structure itself is amazing. It's the distance between the 2 points where we officially created the top of the A and now coming back down. There could be a lot of fluctuation. So obviously kind of sucks. I'm hoping it's a quick decision, but that's the main thing. I just want to get caught up, going back and forth with stop losses. It's inevitability. It's going to happen at some points, but obviously just trying to mentally prepare myself for that. Yeah, I'm at a loss. Now, like, this isn't me coming from like any like geopolitical standpoint or anything like that. You guys know me. I look at a chart and I call it as I see it. So like I didn't think that we were going to be bearish because of like tariffs. I didn't think we were going to be bearish because of like the Israel thing, any of that. I just simply looked at the chart, and the chart was not looking good at the time. Now, we went over, like, if we did happen to put in this ABC here, there was a chance. And obviously that chance was taken. Now, if we continue, that I can't say. All right? Because if we look at it from a macro perspective now, okay, this is a very dangerous area to be in for bullish people. Now, if we can get another bounce here, I think there might be something here. I think there might be an actual run. But as it stands, we have a double layered ABC. We have the macro. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Happened on my chart here. There we go. We have the macro ABC, which that entry point would be 109,301. And then we have the medium time frame ABC here at about 112,000. So if we do happen to go back below this range, I would really struggle to see us recovering. If we go back down below that range, I would have to see another significantly large ABC form to have bullish hope again. Now, that would probably look something like this. If that happened, we would probably see our A wave probably come down to this local low. We would have a B wave retest up to 112, 113, somewhere around there. And then we would have the C wave. Now, that would be where this could go either way. Obviously, this would be the beginning of a head and shoulders. A lot of people would see it that way. To me, I kind of read each one independently, obviously playing off of how the current price action is reacting to that level. So a lot of people would be seeing this as a head and shoulders, and they'd probably be afraid of being in the market. So that could cause it to fall even more. To me, obviously, if we do hold that level, that would be another long point. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Now, obviously, the best case scenario for bulls would be a nice bounce off this previous resistance, which we kind of already have, and then recover some of the local lows in the current trend. And then we might be able to see a little bit further of a push to the upside. Obviously, a little bit of danger up ahead past that point, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. Now, if we do happen to lose both the previous resistances and we dip back below it, Obviously, and like this is me talking from like the strategy standpoint, the objective probability would be starting to target local lows. Obviously, 99,500, and then after that we would be targeting about 74,500, and then after that we would be targeting 50,000. So we'll see how things go. Obviously, if you're a bull, we kind of do need to hold these previous two resistance levels. But then that does kind of, it's a little bit dangerous because that would start to get the trend very, very thin. And I think people right now are on edge. I mean, we look at the stock market. It had a little bit of a rough weekend. And people are just kind of on edge right now. A lot of people have that feeling like, is this too good to be true? And I think that is the correct way to feel right now. It does feel a little bit too good to be true, in my opinion. You're still using 1%, 2%? It depends on the market. So if I'm trading like Ethereum or Litecoin or a different altcoin, I tend to use closer to the 2%, maybe even sometimes 3% if it's like a really shit coin. But on Bitcoin, I typically stick to the 1%. Now, if I'm putting on like a super macro trade, like let's say, for example, that I was specifically trading the next short off of this previous local high here, so 109,473. I would probably be using a 2% stop loss, because trying to play off of that level when there's so much distance between these two current time periods, that particular resistance is going to have a lot more variance. It's not going to directly hold in the traditional way that we like to think markets work. Now, the closer they are together, the more likely they are to kind of treat them with solidarity. I don't know if that's as a solid line, so to speak. CME open? And I hate glasses, man. Especially these ones. These ones are old. So there's just little specks of dust on them that are just so difficult to get out. See all of them. With these lights reflecting off of them. And I mean, I got some... I mean, I don't know if I'm going to do it, but I did get a 5070. So there is potential for gaming streams. Playing a lot of Rust lately. Tried out Cyberpunk last night to try out all the new features. And I don't know if anybody's kept up with it, but the 50 series cards are getting a lot of hate. I mean, rightfully so. All right. And it's the marketing. The marketing sucked. I think if NVIDIA came out and they said, hey guys, this generation of graphics card, we are working on power to performance so that you get less heat, a quieter system, and obviously your electricity bill isn't out the ass, but packing more performance than the 3000 series cards. This particular set of graphics cards is aimed at people that need to upgrade from the 2000 or 3000 series graphics cards. I think if they just said that, and was like, and in addition to, we have DLSS 4 and multi-frame gen, which can improve your experience. If they said that, nobody would have a problem. Absolutely nobody. Because I hate to admit it, and I still, my opinion still stands. All right. Doubt NVIDIA ever. We'll see this stream in particular. But, you know, maybe someone works in NVIDIA might see it. They really need to, like, if people understood, and that's the problem. It's a learning curve. If people understood how frame generation works, I think it would be a much bigger technology. But the problem is that like there's a lot of like nuance to it. Like you have to know how to cap your frame rates. You have to understand that your base frame rate affects your latency, yada, yada, yada. I think NVIDIA should invest in like discrete GPUs directly aimed at frame generation that are super low power, and handle that task separately, because it would solve a lot of the problems. But obviously it's a learning curve for people and they wouldn't know how to do it. But DLSS 4 frame gen, I hate to say it, it's almost flawless. With reflex on, and I would say I still don't think 3x or 4x frame gen is usable. It looks too bad. There's too many artifacts. But 2x frame gen with reflex on, it's damn near 1-to-1. Like, anybody that's complaining about that just hasn't used it properly. That's all I'm saying. But it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And obviously DLSS 4 looks a whole lot better than DLSS 3. So therefore you can turn your settings down and get more FPS that way. It's phenomenal. I was playing Cyberpunk 4K, but DLSS transformer model, max performance. And it still looked really good. That's the crazy thing. That's a 720p image upscaled to 4K. Still looked completely fine. And then I turned path tracing on, which is incredibly intensive. And I turned 2x frame gen on. And I'm getting about like 55 to 60 FPS base frame rate. And then 2x it up to 110, 120. Really good experience. So, what I gotta say about that? I mean, the card just doesn't make a sound. It's nuts. I'm so used to like a jet engine next to me. I can go on for days about graphics cards and technology. I really could. You said, am I into VR at all? I've actually owned 2 Oculus Rifts, but I ended up selling them every time because I just didn't use them as much as I should have. So I mean, they were just sitting there. But I really liked Gorn. Gorn was a really fun game. Sounds really close to something else. So, but that was fun. I played Onward, I think. Is that the like military sim? And there's a good couple other ones. I like the Rick and Morty one, but I just didn't use it enough. So I eventually just fell out of it. Is it worth upgrading from a 4090? No. Like I said, I think if they came out with the marketing, they said these graphics cards are particularly designed for people that are having 3000 or 2000 series graphics cards to upgrade to something that is way better, it would sell like hotcakes. But if you already have a 4090, there is no reason to upgrade to, I mean, unless you're upgrading to a 5090, but even then, I think most people should wait 2 generations of graphics cards. So if you got a 4090, you should upgrade to a 6090 or 6080 if the card is that much more powerful and you want to save money. Who knows? But there's absolutely no reason to upgrade from a 4090. 4090 is still fantastic. Like the 5080 doesn't even beat the 4090. Now the only thing that like the 40 series is missing compared to the 50 series is multi-frame gen, and I'm sure there's probably some differences in how the frame generation is handled. But if you are that into frame gen, with pretty much with any card, I would recommend go on Facebook Marketplace, pick up a really cheap AMD graphics card, pop it into your secondary slot, and boom, you dedicate that card to frame gen using LSFG. But with a 4090, I mean, if you're playing at 1440p or even 4K with DLSS, I don't really think there's a single game that you're not going to be able to hit at least 144 hertz. But I feel like even at 4K, if you put it at like performance mode DLSS, you're still looking at 240 hertz in every game. Obviously, like, if we're talking about like path tracing games, then probably not. But 49. If people weren't out their damn minds on resales, I probably would have gotten a 4090. But like people just have it stuck in their head that they can sell anything for any price. I never once have gone onto Facebook Marketplace with a 2-year-old piece of hardware that is used and asked for MSRP. Who in their right mind is buying that? Like my 3090, I sold it for $575, which I think is a huge deal. It's pretty much the same exact price as a 5070 currently. It has 12 more gigabytes of VRAM than a 5070, but its rasterization performance is about like 15 to 20% less, depending on if you got an overclock on it. So I felt like 575 was a perfect deal. You know, that card MSRP'd for $1,500. Like, I'm never gonna ask someone to pay a stupid amount of money for used hardware. That just makes no sense. Upgraded to a 5080. Really disappointed about the 16 gigabytes of VRAM for AI and work, but it performs good. Yeah, it does suck. I mean, I guess, yeah, if you're really doing like a lot of AI stuff, then yeah, 16 gigs. But to be honest, I want a 12 gigabyte VRAM card, and I'm able to play 4K gaming with DLSS, which, like I said, when I had my 24 gigabytes of VRAM on the 3090, I still put on DLSS, even though I could play native 4K pretty good. There's, to me, with DLSS 4, there's absolutely no reason not to have it on. None. So, you know, and I don't know if you guys heard, I mean, they're coming out with another AI feature for graphics cards in the future, which obviously isn't going to help anybody that's trying to do like professional work with AI or anything like that. But essentially, they're going to be doing AI texture compression. So now they've done, you know, frame generation, and then they're doing pixel upscaling, and then they're doing texture compression. And so far, from the reported details, it can get your VRAM usage in a game down by 80%. So I mean, if they pull it off and it's as flawless as all these other pieces of software that they're putting out, I don't know what to say. Like, I mean, they're just winning, and it sucks because a lot of the things that they're doing are kind of shady. But I can't be a hater, man. I can't. You know, the marketing sucks, but the cards are awesome. If you're upgrading from an older generation than the 4000 series, they are awesome. Did you see the Battlefield 6 gameplay open beta in 2 weeks? I haven't watched any of the gameplay, but I know the open beta is coming out. I'm excited for it. I don't know if there's any way to like get into the early beta test. I know if you're a Battlefield Labs member, I don't know if that's a free thing you can sign up for. I heard something about being able to watch Twitch streams to possibly get an early beta code. But I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I wouldn't say I'm a diehard Battlefield fan, but I do like I like playing them. I loved Battlefield 1. Not like the original one, but like the World War 1 that came out in like 2016. I think that game was very fun. Obviously, did it have a lot of the vehicle combat that some people wanted? No. But I think the gunplay was so crisp. It felt so good. And it ran beautifully day one. You don't see that very often nowadays, where a game comes out and it runs flawless from day one. People getting high frame rates, no crashes. That was when gaming was probably the best. There was a lot of good games around that 2016 mark. That, like, optimization wise was pretty good. Awesome VR titles coming this year. Just got upgraded to a Vive Pro. I have yet to be able to try one of the really nice Vives. I'm sure they are very fun. They look very comfortable too. Man, I cannot wait to change out my CPU cooler. My pump on my AIO is dying, and with this new graphics card being so damn quiet, I can hear it all the time. It just sounds like a polio patient, just an iron lung right next to me. Conveniently, if I slap the top of my case, it just stops for like 5-10 minutes. Missing the good old Bull Run OG challenge stream from 1K to S class. I would love to do it again, but I would probably not buy an S class. Like, just over the years of having the things that I thought I wanted and just kind of going down that rabbit hole of like consumerism, not to get on like a soapbox about like capitalism. I love capitalism, but I think with the freedom to spend our money how we choose, a lot of us choose to spend it on things that in reality just kind of suck. Now, the car itself, amazing car. I loved it. Everything you can really hope for, but just all the stuff that comes along with it, man. Repairs were super expensive. The property taxes were nuts. The resale value plummeted. So, and as well as that, after the first 3 months, it was just a car. I got in it, I drove, did what I needed to do, drove home. And it's also like, you know, unless you're absurdly rich, which I am not absurdly rich, it's not really the car that you would typically just go on a joyride. Because when you're driving in S class, especially when you're not really balling, you have to think about like putting too many miles on the car. So, you know, resale value, repairs, stuff like that. So you can't just like go drive for fun. Like you have to drive to go do something. So probably never would buy a car like that again. Unless like it was used, kept up really well. That way the property taxes weren't so high on it. And, you know, it's obviously a trade-off with the older repair parts. But yeah. I would like a nice car, but I don't think I'm ever going to get like a super luxury car like that again. No matter how things go. It just doesn't make sense to me. Pre-order or have EA Play gets you access on Friday. Alright, EA Play might be the thing. I don't feel like pre-ordering it, but EA Play might be the move. I watch a lot of your early content on Market Cypher. Do you have a video explaining why you went away from it? No, I don't have a direct video, but I've said it on stream many times. Market Cypher, in theory, is okay. It's just like it's like every other indicator. You can make just as much money using just pure RSI. You can make just as much money using MACD. You can use just as much money using stochastics. All right. How you make money in the market is not determined by the indicator that you use telling you that the price is going to dump or the price is going to pump. It's how you structure your risk and your leverage around those positions. That is going to determine whether or not you win. Now, obviously, having some sort of A equals B in terms of how you get into a trade is good. But the problem with Market Cypher that I saw many other people have is because there was so many options. There was green dots, red dots, stochastic crosses, MACD crosses, money flow, blue waves. You know, there was so much stacked on top of each other that there was a lot of conflicting information. So therefore, people had kind of a lot of trouble. And obviously, they put a lot of weight on certain things. They saw a green dot, they were like, it's time to blast off. And then they would put 50x leverage on a lot of their portfolio. And fortunately, that was just the first green dot that ever failed. And it's a repainting indicator as well. Obviously, a lot of people will tell you that's not, but that's just that's the fact of having an indicator. They are repainting. So I transitioned to Elliott Wave, and although I liked how Elliott Wave worked because it wasn't repainting, it was pure price structure. The sad fact about Elliott Wave is it has the same problems as indicators. People put a lot of weight on certain things, so they take their structure and then they drag out their Fibonacci's and they look at the 1.618 extension and they go, all right, price is going to go there because Elliott Wave says it's going to go there. And then they put 50x leverage on a lot of their portfolio. So a lot of psychological problems with those two. So I said, I just kept having issues, me myself personally as well. So I'm like, how can I just get like thought out of the equation? Well, to me, in order to be a good trader, you have to have a couple things. You have to have good risk management. You have to have a way to get into a trade that is unbiased. And then as well as that, some sort of proven way or hunch on which way price action is going to go. You just need a slight edge. It could be 5%, 10% increased chance that it's going to go the way that you think it, or that the structure, the way that you enter, will say it's going to go. So to me, I looked at, because I was using Elliott Wave, I always noticed the same structures over and over again. Now the issue was the targets. I was always targeting either too low, or I was targeting too far, or I was trying to project multiple waves into the future and be Nostradamus. So I said, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to keep what's in front of my eyes at that very moment. So easiest structure out of all of them was ABC. I noticed that ABCs happen to the upside and ABCs happen to the downside. Whereas regular Elliott Wave would tell you that ABCs only really matter when they're to the downside. We can see right here, there's an ABC top. And we saw a lot of downside price action come out of it. Right here, there wasn't an ABC top, but that's okay. We had an ABC bottom, a lot of upside price action came out of it. So, to me, I just wanted to keep it as simple as possible. How can I get any psychological issues out of it? As well as that, how do I always win? Well, there's a small chance that I walk away with nothing, but hedging is a great way to make sure that you always walk away with something, and therefore always compounding up. So, if we have a ABC short position here, and then we fall to the downside, we create an ABC long position, well, now that creates 2 points. We are short from here, and we are long from here. And the only way that I get out of that position is if we create a new or opposite position. So up here, once we created a larger structure here, I was able to get out of the short trade. But obviously the long trade worked as well. And then right here, we were long from right here, and I ended up taking profit on my long here. I probably shouldn't have done it on that small of a structure, but I ended up doing it. So in reality, I probably should have waited for the larger one. So it would take profit on your long position here. Now, the reason why people hate this is because they look at this and they go, well, if you have a long and a short open, you're not making any money. The money was already made. All I'm doing is securing the profits, just in case we don't continue heading to the downside. So if I opened up a short position here, well, we definitely could have had a bounce, but then what if it kept going to the downside? So you never know. That's the whole thing, is getting rid of bias. You never really know what the market is going to do. Now, obviously, because I've been trading this way for many, many years, when I see an ABC, I do have some level of faith in it. So if I see a macro ABC short, I always preference and say, I think the probability is to the downside. Now, if a long position opens up, I say there could be a chance now for bulls. And I take that chance because it's there. Because I don't know if we're actually going to get rejected and continue to the downside. So why am I going to be arrogant and hold on to one side That's the whole thing. Getting rid of arrogance, getting rid of bias, having a very particular way that you enter trades so that way you can structure your risk and your leverage around it. That's all you really need. So if you can do that with Market Cipher, if you can do that with stochastics, if you can do that with TD sequential, all right, if you can do those things, I think you will be successful about not getting in your own way. So I don't think Market Cipher is evil. I do think it's a bit overpriced, but it's not special. That's the main point. So if I can trade for free without a subscription to an overpriced indicator, and for the most part, come out with a lot more money because I'm simplifying how I do things, then there's really no point not to stick with this. What do you think about GTA 6? I mean, GTA 6 is going to be phenomenal. I mean, price point wise, I know there's a lot of, that's not kind of up in the air. We really don't know what it's going to cost yet, but I mean, shit, man, I would be willing to pay like $120 for GTA 6. Realistically, I would. I kind of hate that it's not gonna be coming to PC day one. Always hate that. But yeah, I think it's gonna be great. Rockstar really has never put out a bad game as of recently. GTA 5, GTA 4, Red Dead Redemption, Red Dead Redemption 2. I don't think GTA 6 is going to be any different. It's going to be very fleshed out, all the details on point. It's going to be awesome. Really think so. And it's going to be really, really tough for me not to go watch other people play it on YouTube. I mean, that's a big game. And the story's always great. I remember playing through GTA 5 for the first time. Hadn't seen any gameplay on it, and I played through the full story, and pretty awesome game. I was probably 13 years old when I did that, maybe 14. I remember borrowing my my friend's Xbox and playing it. Very fun. .558 fib is still my go-to if I don't know where to TP. Yeah, to me, I just let it ride. You know, I really started understanding that towards, back here. That's when I really started to adopt the let it ride strategy. Unless the market tells me to get out or re-enter from a new specific point, you never know where it's going to go. So why pretend? And obviously, later on, listening to Trader Tom, which I think is, out of all the people that have like written books or done seminars, I think he's probably one of the only legit ones like out there that's alive at least. Because like he was always hesitant to even put out a book, but like after so many years, people just kept wanting it. But like he puts it a very particular way that like, 99% of your trades are going to be like, all right, cool, you made a little bit of profit. But it's that 1% that are going to be the trades that everybody else looks at and goes, what made you do that? And I love that your answer could be nothing, because the chart didn't tell me to get out, and I simply just did nothing, and it happened. Do we know why they don't release PC on day one? I feel like they're missing on revenues doing so, because you can see gameplays on consoles. I mean, obviously, some people will just say that it's a greed. Maybe they have some sort of partnership deal with the consoles, so that people are more likely to buy consoles. because people don't have to necessarily change their PC to play a game. It could be purely optimization. You know, maybe they don't quite have all of the rendering, you know, effects and stuff done for PC, because on PC, like, you can change your settings completely to match your system. You know, obviously there's going to be compatibility issues with like different cards and different processors, and there's a lot more complications. I could definitely see that. It's really no excuse, but I don't know. They also, I know Rockstar as a company definitely feels like PC gamers are kind of cheapskates and they only wait for sales, which, yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the whole point. I think most PC gamers are adults at this point. They have bills, so they're probably going to wait until a game goes on a decent sale to buy it. But like, I think most people agree. GTA is one of those games where we understand how much effort went into it, and if given me the option, I will purchase it day one for full price. And, you know, maybe they're hoping that people go buy it on console full price, and then when it comes out on PC, they buy it there full price, so they double dip. I don't know. All I know is they're not releasing it day one, and that sucks. For whatever reason, I hope it's not nefarious and that it's in our best interest, but at the same time, like, it just sucks. Now, let me go check my contact here. Yeah, so if you do happen to sign up for Buy DeFi, if you deposit $100, you get a $60 bonus. If you deposit $500, you get a $100 bonus. If you deposit $1,000, you get a $200 bonus. If you deposit anything more than $5,000 or equivalent, you get a $1,000 bonus. Now, I would have to like contact him and see. As far as I know, bonuses will be distributed within 7 days after the event ends, and it ends on August 15th, and are valid for 3 days from the time they are credited. So it looks like they will definitely give you the money, but I think it has to be used within 3 days. Which, I mean, you can make that happen. So what is the level here? Actually, hold on. We might... Coming back down here. Uh, 112,000. Pretty much flat. 112,000. How does the bonus work? You can only withdraw the profit you make from it. I would assume so. Obviously, there's no exchange out there that is in the business of giving legitimately free money. Maybe, I don't know. But it says valid for 3 days after being credited. So I'm assuming that they are encouraging you to use it on trading. Get you familiar with the website for kind of like a free cost. And then I'm almost certain that like any profit that's made off of the bonus, that can be withdrawable. What's up with Johnny? Where he's been? I don't know where he's been in terms of streaming, but I just talked to him today. We were in Discord chatting. But yeah, he's just been doing his thing. Someone up here saw the message, but I just forgot to respond to it. Which he said, no way you play Rust again. Are you the crazy electrician in the base? Kinda. I absolutely love, like, I haven't played Rust, like, really played Rust, probably since, like, 2021, somewhere around there. So there's so much new stuff that's been added that's really cool. Like the automation stuff, I love that. I love getting my entire core automated so that every box is connected to every other box and you can place anything anywhere and it will automatically move it to where it needs to be. You know, the automatic crafting on the workbenches. You know, there's new skins that are usable. Like I got like the shipping container and the brutalist and the legacy wooden bear walls. The game's completely different. I mean, they're coming out with essentially Sea of Thieves. They're coming out with modular boat bases, which I think are going to be very interesting to see. You know, yeah, it's unfortunate how the game works, but I understand that it's inevitable. You know, but I think the more options they give to small groups and solo players, the more the game is going to feel better for everybody. Because obviously, Rust has always been whoever has the biggest group can do the most farming the fastest, and then they can raid everybody else. So I mean, they've given more options. They've given different biomes that offer cover. They have the jungle now. So I mean, yeah, the farming is really fun. I like the farming aspect. You know, the teas and the berries and the pies and that stuff is really cool because a lot of the big clans, they rely on numbers. They don't rely on percentages. So like me as like a duo, solo or a trio, if I put the effort into farming, I can get stuff like pork pies, which makes it so that the healing teas are 3 times more effective. So as long as I throw a wooden wall up, I'm almost back to full health instantly. The armor inserts allow me to take a mid-range kit and turn it into pretty much road sign or even full metal armor, depending on the inserts I have. The max health tea allows me to add an additional 12 to 20% more damage that has to be done to me in order to kill me. Like if I take advantage of all these things at one time, I actually do stand a chance against a group of 3 people trying to all kill me at the same time. So I do like the way that Rust is going. It gives you more options. You know, those things aren't necessary, but if someone does put the time and effort into it, they can make up for the lack of people on their team. You know, they have the pure ore teas with the bear pie, essentially turning a 1x server into a 1.75x. You know, allows you to pretty much fill in the gaps. You know, you can take a duo and they both drink and eat those pies and teas, and now they essentially are a 4-man worth of farming. You know, so it's really cool. It's really cool that they're adding these things to allow people to make up for the lack of not having, you know, Korean Zerg in their base. I'm a glutton for punishment, so even if I play solo, I go play like Rustoria. My Thursday server is Rustoria US main, which on day 1 wipe. I usually gets up to like 900 pop. And then on Mondays, I tend to take it a little bit more chill because I might not have as much time to play. So I play on like Rusticated, I think, premium US Monday server. I usually play that one, which that wipes tomorrow. Now, if you have a big group roaming with all those buffs, it's GG. Yeah, pretty much. Well, that's the thing. Like the bigger groups, the most I've ever seen them put effort into is probably like the Ortiz and the bear pies. But even then, they might just buy it from someone else's vending machine. So. Yeah, like Rust is one of those games where like the reason why it's performed so well over the years is just these constant updates, whether they're massive ones or just small additions that just continue to make the game just at this point. I would say Rust has something for everybody. You know, if you're a small group, you can do farming and hunting and stuff like that, and you can build up a nice little homestead. If you're a large group, you can do crazy stuff like take large oil and cargo and all that kind of stuff. It's really cool now. Very fun game. I remember a couple years back, I don't know what their YouTube names were. Maybe it's one of you guys, you know. I was getting into Rust just for a little bit, just to check in on things and see how things were going. I started up on a server. I let people know that I was playing Rust. And 2 of my subscribers joined the server. I didn't know this. They based somewhat near me. And after a couple of run-ins with them, I was playing with my sister and she jumped on the server. I was like, hey, I need you to go up to those guys, infiltrate their base, give me their codes. And we did just that. And yeah, took everything they had. And then they messaged me like, hey, like, we're from your YouTube channel. I was like, oh my God. Embarrassing. But hey, it's Rust. If you fall for it, that's on you. That's the thing that sucks about like in-game Rust, is you can't trust people. It's just like real life sometimes, you know? So, you know, people would type in chat, anybody looking for a teammate? Secretly, I'm like, this guy's a part of an 8-man. As soon as he gets full access to my codes, they're just gonna inside me. Like, so unless I have been talking to somebody for a long time and I've met in the server, the most they get is access to my airlock with a guest code. Like, that's it. The green dots on your teammates ruined the game for me. Big groups used to struggle knowing who's who. Yeah, obviously that does hurt solo players a lot, but the maximum you can have on Team UI is 8, unless you're playing on a modded server, then it can go up to 10. So, I mean, if you're unlucky enough to be playing on a server that has like actual Zergs of like 40 people, they still are going to kind of struggle because you can only have 8 people on the Team UI. So they're going to have like groups of 8, and then they're going to have to like be in a giant Discord with everybody talking over each other, being like, is that your group? Blah, blah, blah. So there's still some of that going on. I can see why that sucks. Me personally, I don't mind it, because obviously if I'm playing a duo, it still helps me. There's been plenty of times where I've killed my own teammates, even with the green dot. And like the cool stuff with like the Rust Plus app, being able to monitor your base, you know, if you're getting raided. The drones are super cool too. Like when I'm playing solo, it's so awesome to be able to set up a drone on my rooftop, fly it over to train yard, hover by the window, and say, okay, blue card's not looted yet. So I can, you know, park the drone up top and then run back over and know that the loot is there and that there's nobody around train yard at the moment. So there's options now that we didn't have before. Beforehand, you would just have to run over to train yard, hope to God that a 5-man's not camping it and that blue card isn't looted yet. But now I can check every one of those things, run over there, grab the loot and go home. You know? They have like physical cameras now that you can place around places, and some people, you know, go the extra mile and they'll download BlueStacks on their computer and put Rust Plus on there so that they can second monitor their drone system while they're running around a monument. That kind of stuff is just so cool, you know. And I always dreamed about that. Back when I played Rust for the first time in 2015, I found a camera. I'm like, it'd be really, really cool if you can place this on your base and monitor it. And they did it. Very patient. I just W key everything. Trust me, I do a lot of that too. But, you know, if I have to go travel over to Train Yard, I'm at least going to check to see if it's hot at the moment. You know, if I'm playing duo, I'll just run over there. They got the traveling vendor now, which for some reason I can never get lucky with during a wipe. I had one wipe where every time the traveling vendor would stop in front of my house, he'd despawn. I was so angry. Because it's so easy to get high qual from the traveling vendor, you know? You know, if you stack up a whole bunch of scrap at the beginning of wipe, and you get lucky enough to get a vendor spawn near you, and he has high qual, that can pretty much be all the high qual that you would ever need for the rest of the wipe. You know, you go settle by a river, fish a couple catfish, sell them, get 2,000 scrap for the traveling vendor, and boom, that's 600, 700 high qual day one. And the new big cat pie is it's so sick. Like, you feel like you're an Eagle Vision from Assassin's Creed, because I use it at nighttime. So I take a big cat pie and I just go out into the woods at night, and you'll see like these like red or white lasers that like have a river flow to them, and it leads you directly to the animal. Now it only creates the laser on the path the animal took, but obviously if the animal's been alive for long, you'll see a lot of pathways, and you just feel like the spirits are guiding you to your next kill. It's really cool, really easy way. Like, nighttime has always been a big issue, because you either go like grub a monument, or if you're lucky enough to like get up to the night vision quickly, you can possibly go PvP in the dark. But that 15 minutes of nighttime, you can kill enough animals to get like 2,000 low grade. So really cool. But yeah, a whole lot left to say here about the market, at least. Like I said, let's take a look around. So Spy took an absolute shit over the weekend, coming off of a slight ABC top, nothing special. So would I have called that out? Probably not. It wasn't anything crazy. But now we have the opportunity for two things. Obviously, if we come back down below 609, that's not going to be good for the market. And obviously this creates the opportunity in the future for a possible larger ABC that actually might be a catalyst for even more downside. So nothing too crazy to say there. We're not in any immediate danger at the moment, and we're not in any particular like support structure. We're at like a little bit of a local low here within the trend, so there's a possibility for a bounce now, but nothing crazy. Litecoin. Now, I would have to go back and look at the stream, but when I talked about Litecoin, back when I was like saying that BTC looked bearish. I remember specifically saying that, like, if anything would make me bullish right now, it would be Litecoin. Because Litecoin, I'm pretty sure, had this particular structure. We had an A to a B, and then we were putting in this ABC structure here last time we were on stream. I was saying, well, it really looks like the price wants to go back up and retest, 106. And lo and behold, from the point of entry, we are up. Well, we had a peak of about 50%. Now, do I want to take this? Where are we sitting at exactly here? We're sitting below or above? Technically, we're sitting above. And Litecoin also has a bullish structure, which it's now sitting above. Here. A to B to C. Kind of convenient. Literally, the short and the long are within margin of error of each other right here. Have the medium, the small ABC, and then we have the large. I don't quite know if I want to. I mean, we're close enough where, like, I probably could take a chance on it. Obviously, right now it would be a long chance, but even if I had a 2% stop loss, that would just be back down to, like, the support level. We could very easily just come back down there. I really don't mind the nighttime. Like I said, I mean, with the big cat pie and apple pies, there's a lot of stuff you can do in the dark now. I do a lot of my, like, looting in the dark, like that. Yeah, Litecoin is in a very particular position. If you guys are looking for anything besides a Bitcoin entry, Litecoin's kind of just like teetering on the edge of either or. If we come back down a little bit here, back down below 107, that would be a short entry. Technically, at this very moment in time, we are in a long position on the smaller time frames. Yeah, very interesting. Ethereum had a very nice ABC top. We currently don't have any long positions. It's a very thin downtrend here, so we would have to get some sort of significant bounce. And then obviously another downside retest to get any sort of, like, major entry point into Ethereum. But yeah, who knows? And there's nothing worse than trying to be sneaky and you get aggroed by wolves and you have to turn your torch on. Like, that sucks, man. Yeah, I think as far as, like, the positions that I'm actually interested in at the moment, obviously Bitcoin, always looking for something. And I don't have anything on the board right now, so I'm definitely looking for something. I'm going to be going short if we come back down below 112,000. And then I will be going long if we get back above 114,727. There. Oh, obviously depends on the exchange that you're looking at, whether or not it's gonna be that exact number. All right, so on this one, it is 14,648. So and then I might enter LTC if we can get a little bit of a dip down to this region here, I might just try to go for like the double trade, short and a long, at pretty much the same exact level. Hey Kite, what are your thoughts on KDA? Still holding the bag? No, not as much. I didn't have like a very strong spot portfolio in the first place. I just was mostly leveraging it. Obviously it's not doing terrible. Like, it's holding its support levels, but just it didn't do what I thought it would. We didn't have necessarily the market for it either. Coins like this will perform exceptionally well in kind of a free roam market where we are just trending up. Because at that point, people are enthusiastic about the market. They're trying to find avenues to capitalize on it that they might have missed out on in the future. So they go look for coins like this. And I think the core of KDA is still pretty good. If we do happen to get a very nice structure in the future, lining up with a pretty significant macro ABC bottom for Bitcoin, I might be a little bit more enticed. As of now, as the chart sits, unfortunately not. If you were able to catch this entry, actually, well, no, not even that one, but if you're able to catch this level here, it wouldn't be a bad opportunity, but a likelihood now, not so much. Hey Kite, can you check near? I'm in a long position at 182. In a long position from 182. 182. Here. Oh, very nice position, by the way. I can see exactly why you entered, and that is perfectly fine by me. So I like to see when people tell me, hey, I'm in a thing from here, I can immediately tell why. That means doing good. So, I mean, I think the position that you have, and I understand why you're even asking the question. I think you should risk it for the biscuit. Like I said, it's up to you, obviously. But it's those positions that you hold because the market's not giving you any particular reason to get out that are going to be the ones that make you a lot of money. So, you know, obviously our macro local low here at 338 has not been officially retested. Obviously, if we can break through that, then we could probably come back up to like 6. We have a bullish ABC here. Obviously, we're a little bit away from recollecting support off the B wave. It's hard for me to say that we're going to be bullish on it, but I don't think it's a trade that you should give up on. Now, if this is something that you're banking on for massive profit and you can't afford to lose it, well, you shouldn't be in a trade like that anyways. But if you're up enough and you're comfortable and you say, if I took profit on this trade right now and used the profits from it as an opportunity for Bitcoin or Litecoin or, you know, anything else that has an immediate pattern, that might not be a bad idea. But if you have those other positions and you're doing fine, I think this is one of the trades that you hold on to, because there's a lot of opportunity in it, especially if things do go the bullish side. Who am I to say that we might not go up to 150 or 200,000 on Bitcoin? Do I think it's a likelihood? No. But obviously, it's just, we don't know. We don't honestly know. So if there's a chance, you have a perfectly fine position. You could always move your stop loss up a little bit, make sure that you come out with a little something. But I wouldn't stress too hard about it. If Bitcoin does break back down below like 112,000 and this coin hasn't shit the bed yet, if you want to call it then, that's your prerogative. But as of right now, I think it looks okay. I think it really does. XRP? I've not checked it. Very similar. I do see it. Very nice. It's got an A to a B to a C. So I mean, yeah, if we do happen to come back above $2.94, $2.96, that could be a decent position. We do have the issue though of the macro, with us retesting the previous high here and getting rejected. So I think the play for XRP would be you long here for obviously the possibility for opportunity to the upside. If we do happen to break back above this resistance, it might be a good push for XRP. But if anything, this long here would actually lead to a retest of that level, which you can then short. So I think XRP is actually pretty cool to be sitting in once we get back above that level. That's actually not a bad shout. That might be something that I get myself into, to be honest with you. I'm surprised this website is still up. Okay, I forgot who made it, to be honest with you, but if they ever watch the channel again, thank you for putting this into website form. You know, I used to just have people download a spreadsheet that had the calculator in it. But whoever made this website and is still, I guess, hosting it, thank you very much. It's a very, underrated thing. Not a lot of people think about that, but some guy put this together and has been keeping it up for this many years. Incredible. All right. Making sure I got everything I want there. Here. All right, guys. I think it's time for me to hop off. I'm gonna go make some food. I'm gonna continue watching the charts tonight. I'm gonna update the Discord group with kind of my thoughts and opinions on the charts today. If you guys are interested, obviously it helps me look good to the big guys. If you guys are in search of a new website, Buy DeFi. It reminds me a lot of Bybit. It has the features that I'm looking for, and so far so good. I still need to make trades on it and see how everything goes with that, but works for me. I don't even need to use a VPN to log in. I mean, there's that. Yeah. I appreciate your time today, everybody. Like I said, to me, XRP, thanks for the shout out for that one because I probably would have missed it. XRP, Litecoin, and Bitcoin look like opportunities are very near in the future. As for everything else, it's kind of still to be determined. And yeah, I'll be taking some longs or maybe some shorts depending on how things go. I do plan on being here somewhat consistently. I think it's going to be good for me to keep up some sort of schedule. And yeah, I really need to get these lights turned off because they are burning my eyeballs. But nice to see you guys again. As always, I like that when I come in here. The more and more I do this, I see people suggesting things and seeing the chart and seeing that it's a beautiful looking chart, which tells me that you guys are listening. So, all right, guys, let me go try to figure out if you guys liked the song from the intro. I'll play some more of him. That was Carpet Man. And he doesn't have a whole lot of songs out, but he's obviously very popular. There's another one that I liked when I was listening to him in the car. It was Smoking Cherry. That was a good one. But yeah, that'll be our outro song. But as always, guys, I really appreciate you being here. You messing around with this new graphics card and seeing what it's capable of. Not too much more powerful than my old card, but it's powerful enough to make a difference. So it's pretty cool to go back and play some games that I've always loved. All right, guys. Here's something that we haven't been able to do in a while. You guys ready? Because I'm not. All right. Go ahead and set everything up. Into my eyes. Bye!
You found the round of my soul, and you're walking on your own. I cannot control. You told me to follow you, but I'm afraid I'm gonna fall. I cannot control. Won't not be here, let go of your fantasy. She goes crazy with the magic like a fairy. Flow away with the smoking cherry. Won't not be here, let go of your fantasy. She goes crazy with the magic like a fairy. Flow away with the smoking cherry.
Ah, dang, where's the drop? Oh, my bad, here it is.
Goes crazy with the magic like a fairy. Flow away with the smoking cherry. Won't not be here, let go of your fantasy. She goes crazy with the magic like a fairy. Flow away with the